Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again, folks. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, please make sure to use the headphones. Trigger warning 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Now prepare yourselves for another comment of stupid with the same argument. Again. One commenter claims that the FDA arbitrarily and capriciously discounted JRC patient data in the proposed rule and instead relied on data that are anecdotal and that were carefully selected to support the agency's position. Jesus fucking Christ. Here we go again. Why do you keep making the same arguments? After the FDA has already shredded that argument to shreds at least 10 times previously in this document. Now, you chose to ignore our study in favor for literally every single other study from anywhere in the world. Please put down the crack pipe. For the love of God, put down the crack pipe. This is this victim mentality that the JRC has been using, unfortunately successfully, for over the last 4 fucking decades. But you're just ignoring all of our evidence and all of our data when it has been explained to you in detail why they threw out your report. But just for argument's sake, let's go ahead and go through what the FDA has already brought up to you again, shall we? Your data was put together by you, JRC. You and you alone. No doctors, research institutes, hospitals, or places where clinical studies are being done every day took any way, shape, form, or part of that so-called study. Number 2, the language used is so vague that anyone can infer just about anything they want to in regards to reading what they want to into said study. Number 3, there was no form of controls in regards to that study whatsoever. None, zip, nada, zilch. That same study also cannot prove in any way, shape, or form the so-called longevity of the behavioral changes once they leave the JRC and are no longer on the device, because the JRC does not know how to complete a proper clinical study. nobody has reached out to those who have participated in that crack show of a so-called clinical study to see if the so-called wonderful benefits stayed with them after they left the school. Also, in regards to proper controls, we also know because the JRC failed to report in that study what other types of programs they were using with that particular student. They weren't mentioning if they were doing any form of positive behavioral reinforcement or any other PBS type of program with using the GED as a supplement to that program. None of that, literally none of that is clear. Literally not worth the poor trees that had to die for them to print that crap of a study out. Okay? They're not just cherry picking studies. They're saying the data you put forward is a joke, not worth the poor trees that had to die for you to be able to print this stupid crap out. Okay? It fails in every single area in regards to how a proper clinical study is supposed to be done. There is no oversight. Don't tell me, but the JRC, we gave it oversight. You do not understand what we mean by oversight. Oversight would mean that yes, even if you're the ones that are conducting the study, there is an objective panel that do not have any stake in any way, shape, or form with the JRC to act as monitors and to make sure the study is being conducted properly for the love of God. Layman's terms, they didn't consider or feel a need to debate the data that was presented on that study because that data proves absolutely nothing. A massive waste of time, tree death. You cost future humans extra oxygen because that poor tree had to die for you to print out this horrible garbage. Okay? And I'm really tired of the FDA having to constantly explain to you, like you're 5, exactly why that clinical study is not being given the same weight as all the other clinical studies throughout the rest of the goddamn medical model. It's the same arguments over and over and over again. And I'm sorry, I'm really glad I was not on this FDA panel because if anything could make me fall off a wagon, having to go over and over and over and over the same shit repeatedly would be it. We're going to go ahead and close on that, folks. Good God, we don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. You know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you can have a good one. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.